Hi everyone, in this video I wanted to talk a bit more about my background and knowledge that I built up within the marketing space before starting the agency. So what my background was before starting my own business, starting the agency and helping people with their properties. So basically what I did my whole career before starting the agency was in marketing, was in advertising. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about in this video comes back to the main point of how I drive more viewings, better offers and faster sales for my clients when they're selling their properties. And all of the knowledge and expertise I built up in my previous roles helps me and allows me to do that, and allows me to offer something different to other agents who most agents don't have the background in marketing that I do. And I think I'd be really interested if you drop a comment of what the most important part of being an estate agent promoting someone's property is. What is the most important? Because I think a lot of people would answer with sales or maybe negotiation, but miss marketing. And actually, marketing is the most important part, because you can't negotiate or you can't be sales based if you haven't done the marketing correctly and haven't got the people to negotiate with. The marketing gives you the ability to negotiate, so it is the most important part. And as I said, it all comes back to that point of more viewings, better offers and faster sales. And ultimately, people's homes, they deserve better than basic marketing. They deserve more when they're trying to sell what is most times the most important asset. Now, my background in marketing is, as I said, in marketing's all been advertising based mainly. I worked for PlayStation for several years, working on some of the massive game launches, but mainly the biggest project was the PlayStation 5 launch. I was the social media advertising lead for several years, but also on the PlayStation 5 launch, I was the social media advertising lead. So that was all, as I said, all of the advertising, all the ads, not the stuff that's posted organically, that was done by someone else, but all the strategy, the implementation, everything for the PlayStation 5 launch across social media, advertising across all the platforms was me. I then moved to Google to work on the YouTube product, promoting that in the UK and also international companies too, and then moving to Sky to work on the Sky Glass product, which was a relatively new product to that TV at that stage, and driving brand awareness and revenue for that product as well. So that's a lot of my background in marketing and advertising, and that expertise, that knowledge, I use that to then drive maximum exposure for my clients' properties. So one of the ways we do this is through targeted buyer campaigns across social media platforms, advertising campaigns on those platforms, targeted to people looking at buying in not just their local area, but some wider areas as well. Sometimes driving up to 60,000 additional reach and impressions, for reaching additional 60,000 people on top of the property portals, something that just most agents just won't do. And again, that by driving maximum exposure, you then give it the opportunity to drive more viewings, better offers and faster sales, because you're giving yourself the maximum exposure. If you're limiting the exposure, you don't give yourself that best opportunity. So that's where I use that expertise, that knowledge of advertising, to run these campaigns and drive the maximum performance for all my clients. But there's a ton of things we do also on top of that around premium presentation, also direct mails, another big part as well. But they're just some of, as I say, those targeted buyer campaigns in particular are absolutely massive. It's so important that we run on all of our properties, and ultimately your home deserves that same thinking, that same attention to detail, commitment to results that you get when you're working with some of these massive brands in the UK, global brands. Your home, your most important asset, also deserves that same attention to detail. So that is one way that I'm different to other agents, because most agents just don't have that background in marketing and that knowledge, and I look to use it as across everything we do for our clients. So if you'd like to find out a little bit more about that, about how we work, some of the extra bits we do in the marketing space to help our clients, feel free to give us a call, drop us a message, and I'll be happy to have a more detailed chat and explain that a little bit more.